Hello guys, this is me, Kyrill, your justice analyst from Belarus living in Germany. Eurovision 2024 has concluded and now it's time to talk. We will go through all the 25 countries who competed in the Eurovision final 2024. We will see how well they did in comparison to the betting odds, to my prediction, and also see who surprised us the most, who maybe disappointed us with their result. So without further talking, let's start with our first country, and it will be Norway. Well, maybe this song was not my personal cup of tea, but in any case, seeing Norway finishing last in this final is just mind-blowing. Because I think some months ago we would have even easily said, well, probably Norway will be in top 10 again or something like that. And this result is definitely far below our worst expectations. So in general, they got their highest result from Albanian jury and the Ukrainian televoters, so quite a random spread of votes in this case, not so much support or love from Scandinavian neighbors. I wasn't surprised by the fact Norway got one of the last places in accordance with the televote results, but I really thought the juries will kind of rank it somewhat higher, maybe a bit like Blanca Paloma last year from Spain. I expected they will show some love for this authentic, traditional style with mind-blowing vocals, but at the end of the day it didn't happen. And if you would have bet money on Norway finishing last, the coefficient was mind-blowing 51, so you can see which countries actually bookmakers saw as more probable last places. So yeah, I think no one has really expected this. If someone has bet money on Norway, congrats, you won quite some bunch of money. Seeing Austria so low is for me personally quite sad, because it was one of my favorites of the final. I voted for it only one time, I had some other favorites as well, but in general, seeing Kaleen finishing with just 4 points from the televoting is for me also mind-blowing, like the last place of Norway. I really thought, well, juries will probably not appreciate it, will be definitely one of the less with the juries, but with the televoters I thought, well, she can get 40, 50 points because the tune is so catchy, but maybe the fact that it came directly after Slimane and France, this very powerful emotional ballad with great vocals, and then it was kind of last after all the previous bops, so maybe people were not feeling as moved by that as if it would be somewhere in the beginning of the lineup. I don't know, hard to say, but in general, yeah, really low result for Austria, and interestingly there, almost half of their points they received from juries and the televoters from Israel. Slovenia was actually my personal winner of the night. I have voted, I think, 10 or 11 times for her entry, the same as in the first semi-final. So for me, it was, of course, quite sad to see her finish in solo, but it didn't come by any surprise. I think we all saw this coming like that. I still hope that the juries will give her a little bit more love than they did, because I think her vocals were spectacular. The artistry behind the performance was really very impressive. But in the end of the day, she got almost all her points from this 20 points she got from Croatia, so 10 points from Croatian televoters and Croatian juries. So it seems like her appearance at the final of Croatian Dora didn't really come unnoticed. And now another country which kind of profited from appearing at the other national selections. So Spanish band Nebulossa got 6 points from San Marinese jury, which I think is sort of a tribute of the fact that they came to the San Marinese selection last year, even though they were not so successful. In general, yeah, we all saw this coming. You saw that they were the #1 favorite of bookmakers to finish last in the final, so I'm still happy they didn't finish last. It was such a great performance, so fun, energy. I love the lead singer, I love the dancers. It was such a treat to the eye. Yeah, maybe vocally nothing groundbreaking, but at the end of the day it was very enjoyable. I'm happy that Spain didn't finish last. I know many of you didn't really agree with me putting Georgia in the bottom 5 of the final in my prediction video, but as you can see, Georgia finished in the bottom 5. So I think the problem with the song was that the target audience was unclear. Yeah, it was not sexy enough for being a sexy female Bob, which we normally get from other countries. It was also not really showcasing her vocals too much so that the juries would go behind that. So in the end, target audience was unclear. I was very much surprised she got really 0 points from the juries and the televoters of all Balkan countries. I really thought that based on the fact that the song was composed by Narkootikumidest, a very known Balkan composer, and who was behind many other Balkan entries, I was really thinking that the Balkan countries will feel the vibe and will share at least some love with Nutsa, but unfortunately more than half of her points came just from 2 neighboring countries, from Armenia and Azerbaijan. So not a very high result, but I'm still super happy. Nutsa brought Georgia to the Eurovision final, and I think she should definitely come back with a very strong ballad which will showcase her voice and which will definitely grab a lot of points from the juries. So Estonia was lucky that the Netherlands got disqualified, so they could sneak into the top 20. Also, there are 4 points from the jury, would have been only 2 points if the Netherlands would have still been in the game. So in general, they got, of course, more points from the televoters, which was not a surprise, and I'm really happy that they did so well. Also, actually, almost all their televoting points, 25 of 33, came just from 3 countries, from Latvia, Finland, and Lithuania. I think it's great that they got such popularity in this region. I mean, after all, this is their target market, this is where they want to be popular, and I think after Eurovision they have a great career ahead of them, even though they are already established acts in Estonia. So now maybe they will become very popular performers also in Latvia, Lithuania and Finland. I would say Finnish result actually surprised me. I was not expecting them entering top 10 by any means, but I still thought maybe 3, 4, 5 positions higher they could definitely finish. But at the end of the day, if you look at the voting table, you might notice that Finland kind of finished borderline points in most of the countries of Europe. So they got a lot of 1 points, 2 points, a lot of 11 places, 12 places. So the song got quite a broad appeal, but unfortunately this year we had too many televoting baits, which just got all the points. And I think if the Netherlands would have not been disqualified, the result of Finland would have been even much lower, because so many televoters would have voted for Netherlands instead of Finland. But in general, I'm happy for them. They made it to the final. I think Finland is definitely having now this perfect formula for Eurovision to give the televoters what they want to see. I just hope next year maybe they choose a song which will not have too many competitors with the same genre or the same type of target audience. Well, 0 from the televoters, not for the first time for UK or. So in general, I was quite surprised that they got so many points from the juries, 46 points, which resulted in the 13th place in accordance with the jury vote. I thought the vocals of Olly were really weak. Also, his voice in general is, not powerful enough in comparison to most of the other singers in this final. I thought the performance was brilliant. I really loved those visuals, even though it was a little bit 18 plus in my opinion. But I think also the part which we saw from rehearsal was really like the most edgy one. The rest was kind of, a little bit more fun and family appropriate. But yeah, for me, mind-blowing that the jury stood behind that. I'm not surprised by the televoting result, and I think it's great that the UK is not in the bottom 5 this year, not on the last place this year. So I hope they will keep sending great artists with some really great radio-friendly songs. So Serbia, half of their points they got actually from the Balkan fellow countries. The other big chunk they got from the diaspora votes from Switzerland and Austria. And at the end of the day, it was anyway not enough to be even in top 15. Kind of shows us that Serbia is more or less a definite qualifier each and every year, because they get so much love from diaspora and the fellow neighbors, so that next year we should definitely not underestimate them. It's for me quite surprising that the juries didn't really appreciate this song. I thought the juries will rank this kind of ballad a little bit higher because we didn't have so many ballads in the final, but maybe the fact that Latvia was also there and France, so maybe it did drag some attention away from the Serbian entry. I thought the performance of Dora was really beautiful. As I said before, I just think the song is not the right one. She has another song which is so much better, which became viral last year. So I really hope she will come back someday to the Serbian selection with a stronger song so that she can definitely finish in top 10 in Eurovision. The same as in case with Serbia. When it comes to Latvia, I was surprised by their too low results when it comes to the juries and a little bit higher result by the televoters than I would have expected. I think the juries have really underrated this, maybe because there is one song which is very similar to this one, and it's the one from Germany, and Germany definitely brought, a more grand performance with all this fire and so on. In any case, I think Latvia should be very satisfied with this result. It's much higher than anyone has expected before the contest, and in general, seeing Latvia first time in the Eurovision final after 2016 is so great, and I hope it's a good trend which they will keep following for the next years. Take a look at yourself, 'cause that is what you need to do. Silia, Kapsis, Cyprus. I have to say my heart has melted towards Cyprus towards the final. I think this is a very good song and she was performing the hell out of it. I have really appreciated her final performance. I even voted, I think, 5 times for her. I really wished luck to her and she did really well. So no one has really expected that she will be ranking so high in the end, but she even got 1 place better than Elena Zagrinu with El Diablo a couple of years ago, who was more kind of a big fan favorite. So really great job for this young artist. Of course, 22 points from Greece, from the juries and the televoters combined have helped a lot, but actually even without them she would have been only 1 position lower, so actually would have finished like El Diablo. In this final, Lithuania was kind of unlucky with the running order because they had to perform after Israel, which, even if you don't like it or if you like it, you would definitely feel some emotion afterwards, so you would be still in this thinking about Israel while Lithuania is performing. So I was a bit surprised to see that he actually managed to finish in top 10 in accordance with the televote. So amazing result for Lithuania this year. And surprisingly, this time UK and Ireland gave just 8 and 7 points to Lithuania. I mean the televoters in the final respectively, while normally they give their 12 to Lithuania. So maybe it's not really guaranteed that every year they will rank Lithuania as top 1 or top 2. So Luxembourg is, I think, the country which I got the most wrong in this final. I really thought Luxembourg will be one of the bottom 5 countries, maybe even a big candidate for the last place. But if you look at her televoting result, in accordance with the televoting, she finished 17th. Actually, it all really makes sense. She got a couple of points from the Francophone countries, some points from France, 1 or 2 points from Belgium as well. And then she got 12 points from Israel, which is her home country. And of course, her song is also dedicated to her brother, who is fighting in the Israeli army. Also, of course, 12 points from Israeli jury for the same reason. But worth saying that she has finished 11th in accordance with all the jury votes from all countries, which is still for me mind-blowing. So even without the support from Israel, she would have been quite high. But I think maybe it's the fact that it's Luxembourg, it's a returning country, some juries wanted to show their support, or maybe they were just paying more attention to this entry than if it would have been from regular participants like Belgium or France. So in any case, great result for Tali. I'm also happy that Luxembourg got such a good result from their first attempt, which means that they are now here to stay. So they already confirmed their participation for the next year. So I really hope Luxembourg will be here for quite a while and will be one of the established participants like the others. And I hope they will not feel demotivated like San Marino in some years if they will not qualify. Well, so happy to see my country Germany on place 12 this year. I was telling you from the very beginning that the song will definitely do well with the juries and that you should not underestimate it, but most of you still didn't agree with me, and now you see he even finished 10th in accordance with the jury vote this year. Even if we look at his televoting result, he actually managed to get some points, so 18 points. But if we take a closer look at these points, you will see that he got 8 points from the televoters in Israel. He also, by the way, got 10 points from the juries from Israel, which was his highest mark from all juries from all countries. And it is easily explained. He has Jewish roots, even though his father is, I think, German, his mother is Icelandic, but one of them, he has this Israeli roots. And I think maybe this was the reason why in Israel he was kind of hyped more. and most of his other points from the televote came just from the neighbor countries Austria, Switzerland and Luxembourg, which is still great. It shows the love from the neighbors, which Germany mostly lacks as well. So this was it for today. So it was just the first half of the final results. I just decided, well, this video is becoming way too long. Let's split it in two. Please subscribe to my channel if you still haven't, so that you don't miss the part 2, which hopefully will come tomorrow or maybe the day after tomorrow. Let's see how quickly I can edit and prepare the video for you. Or you may be shocked by the last place of Norway, or by 0 points from the televoters to the United Kingdom. Or did you expect Finland to be much higher? Or maybe you have thought that Luxembourg was extremely overrated. Please let me know down below in the comments. Like this video if you still haven't, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.